So if you were to ask me what's the number one skill we teach all of our hypnotherapists, it would be how to use hypnosis on sales calls. Because the idea around this is at every chance possible, you should be trying to manipulate people to buy a service that you have in regards to hypnosis or coaching. Now, if you cannot tell, I'm being extremely sarcastic here, and my answer is always going to be no. So in this video, I want to talk about, is it possible to use hypnosis on sales calls? And if not, what can you do as an alternative? Now, before we get into this, what do I mean by hypnosis on sales calls? Well, there's going to be a lot of mentors out there, a lot of gurus out there talking about the use of language patterns, that certain words you can use to hypnotize people on a sales call, things like telling stories, using hypnotic language in your sales page, using hypnotic language when you do organic outreach or even emails. Now, the number one problem with this, well, there's really two. Firstly, it becomes extremely obvious that you're trying to do something for your to your clients. Now, let me ask you this, or paint this picture for you. Imagine this was possible. Imagine the use of certain words, certain hypnotic language, certain language in sales powers or email was possible to manipulate, because that's really what it is, or hypnotize someone into buying a product or a service that you have in regards to your sessions, your coaching package, whatever it is. And not only was it possible, but they found out you were actually doing it. Not only would it destroy your reputation, but instant refunds would be given back. So what's the alternative here? Well, first thing you have to realize is this is utterly garbage. You cannot use hypnosis in that way. It is not possible, no matter what the gurus tell you, no matter what sales pages or programs are going to tell you, it is not possible. Remember, hypnosis is a one-to-one thing. You have to have an interaction with your client. We have to know how to see and hear for unconscious moments. All the regular hypnosis stuff that cannot be done by someone on a phone call with that person or even on a sales page or an email. Now, is it possible to do a strategy call that works in your favor, but also your client's favor? Absolutely. And that's what you should be focusing on. So what do I mean by this? Let's get into this. The first thing you want to do in any strategy call, get rid of the identity of selling. Stop selling to your clients. Why? Because already by doing this, guys, you are making a differentiation between you and every other possible therapist or coach that is trying to sell that person something because they're desperate for the sale. So alternative, what you want to do, stop selling. You're not selling a service. You're not going to offer anything. The thing you want to be doing, and this works, the best thing you can do, it's like it literally works like absolute gold, is listen more. Because it's so going to be so different than every other coach or therapist doing a strategy call. Listen more. This will actually start the therapy. We've talked about this on previous videos that the majority of the therapy, when you get good at this, should be done on the first interaction. And that first interaction should be on a strategy call, clarity call, sales call, whatever you want to call it. Start to listen more. This creates that rapport that everyone talks about. You also want to be creating pain and emotion. This has to be highlighted. This has to be exacerbated, because if not, it's easy for a client to turn around and say, well, maybe this is not that painful. Maybe it's not the right time for me. And ultimately they say no. Now, notice what I said before. It's a win-win situation for you because you get to become a full-time therapist, but it's a win-win situation for them because now they get the therapy they need. And that only counts if you know what you're doing and you can actually get a result, but that's neither here nor there for now. Next, not only creating pain and emotion, you want to be offering a light at the end of the tunnel. Not talking about hypnosis, not talking about the therapy, but talking about the results that you can get for your clients. This offers them a way out. Now, inside their mind, they're going to be thinking, okay, I'm in pain, I have emotions, I can see a way out of this, but there's still a gap in my knowledge. And guys, you are that way to fill in the gap in their knowledge. You are that person to fill in that gap and show them the end of the tunnel. Talking about results, not hypnosis. Best thing you guys can do, if you have it, if you don't right now, you will in the future, offer some sort of proof, offer some sort of testimonials, talk about past clients, talk about your depth of knowledge on that specific niche. We talk about this in 100K coaching program. We have something called a future value deck, which is a presentation you actually want to show your clients. You can do this via Zoom, where you'd share your screen, and it goes through all the stuff I'm talking about now, but it offers proof and testimonials, past clients, all of these sorts of things to show this person you are an expert. This creates differentiation. This is what you're an expert in. You're no longer selling hypnosis like everybody else. You're not selling sessions and time and discounts like everybody else. And these few things alone will instantly turn you into a blue ocean service, which is less competition, more results. Ultimately, it's a win-win for you guys. Next is social media proof. Here's what happens, guys. Let's be honest. Let's say a person does enroll in your coaching program and does take you on as their therapist. What do you think they're going to do after the sales call? Let's say they have paid, and that's awesome. What do you think is going to happen after the call? Do you think they're just going to sit back and idly wait for their session? No, they're going to go looking for who you are. They're going to be looking for that social media proof, just like all your favorite gurus have done to you. All your favorite gurus who use social media do this in such a way to prove they're an expert. And you've probably gone and looked for those people. So I don't know why hypnotists and therapists and coaches and that don't do it for themselves, whether it's a fear of social media, whatever it is, but you're missing a big piece of the puzzle here. Social media proof happens after the call. Now, let's say, for example, a client turns around and says, I want to get back to you in 24 hours. What do you think they're going to do in that 24 hours? That's right. They're going to be looking for who you are. So having social media proof is a surefire way to get more yeses. Lastly, we've talked about this in a previous video. Just look through our catalog from a couple of videos back. I talk about urgency on price, and you can go through an entire video on that. But for now, urgency on price is really, really important because it's very easy for a client, to turn around and say, you know what, I'll think about it, or this is not for me right now, or I'll get back to you. Why? Because we've elevated the pain, we've increased the emotion, we've shown the light at the end of the tunnel. By not putting urgency on this, it's easy for a client to go back to what is normal, homeostasis, even if normal means pain. So using urgency on price, whether it's a 12-hour urgency, 24-hour urgency, whatever it is, don't let your clients off the hook. Now, this only counts, guys, if you have a service that works, if you're a therapist or a coach that can actually get results. But this whole thing about using hypnosis on sales calls, using NLP words, language patterns, word stories, hypnotic language on sales pads, emails, outreach, whatever it is, it's ridiculous. It looks ridiculous. It sounds ridiculous. But like I said, even if it did work, some minute way that it did work and your clients found out, that would absolutely ruin your reputation. So instead, follow all these steps, and ultimately you're going to get more yeses, build your business, and have some very happy clients. So that's all from me for today, guys. Hope that helped. Bye for now.